saw a lot was confusing horizontal with vertical, like remembering which one is up and down and which one goes side to side. Other than that, everyone pretty much got A's and B's, and I'll pass those back shortly. So that's really good. So let's look at this graph here. So we have A, H, and K. So A is always the number up top. A is -1, which means it's going to reflect. H is in the denominator, but you have to flip the sign. So H is -3. So your vertical asymptote will be at x equals -3. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. Vertical is up and down. The only thing I could think of to help you remember vertical is if you draw the letter V, you have to go down and up. So maybe that's a clue to know that your line should go up and down and not side to side. Okay, and then our K value would be +2. So we have a horizontal one at y equals 2. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line at y equals 2. So because the H is -3, that's going to move the graph left 3. And because y is 2, it's going to move it up 2. So remember, we have plus, minus, plus, minus. So A is negative, so I'm going to color in these parts. And because A is -1, I'm only going to be able to put down 1 point because those points overlap. So I have a point here. And then I'll also have a point here. And that's it. So the last leg of our race, this is the last new thing you're going to learn. We have our test next Friday, and then we'll have a week to start getting ready for the final. So in your notes, go to page 14. So page 14 in your notes. There's some steps to solve, and I wrote those steps on the backboard also, and I'm also going to write it here. So the first step is to factor your denominators. Sometimes you'll have one that can factor and sometimes you won't. When you do that, you're going to find your LCD, which means your least common denominator. And then we're going to multiply every fraction by the LCD. And what that's going to do is clear your fraction. And then our last step would just be to solve and simplify. So that is what we're going to do. Today we're going to do 4 questions. Monday we'll finish that out. Tuesday will be our last day, my last day of instruction for the rest of the year. And then we will start getting ready for our tests and then get ready for the final. And that's it. Class of 2025. It's almost over. Okay. So I'll give you a couple more minutes to copy that down. And then we'll start working through some examples. All right, does anybody need more time to copy? Are we ready? Okay. So we have two different denominators. I have x minus 3 and I have x plus 5. So that's my LCD. Now, the two answers, if I get these two answers, it's going to be no solution. We know that x cannot, if you said x minus 3 equal to 0, that means x cannot equal 3. That's one answer I cannot use. And if you said x plus 5 equal to 0, that means x cannot equal negative 5. Okay, so these are the only two numbers that if this is what we get after we solve it, we are going to need to cancel it out. Welcome. You could just wheel, we could wheel right there, I guess. Oh. Or if you want to sit at my desk, you can too. There's like a little ledge there. Yeah, you might have to you can just park there. We'll get you another desk to help you out. I didn't hear you. What'd you say, Juan? Right, so the reason why is because if you add the 3, you get x equals positive 3. What do you get if I put a 3 right here? What is 3 minus 3? What's 3 minus 3? 0. You cannot divide by 0. Pick up your calculator and try to type in 4 divided by 0. If you type in 4 divided by 0, you get an error. So we cannot use positive 3 and we also cannot use negative 5. All right, so we'll see what we're going to get. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by both. And I'm going to multiply this fraction by both. For this first fraction, the x minus 3 is going to go away. For the second fraction, x plus 5 goes away. Whenever you multiply by the denominator, it just cancels it out. So what that's going to leave you with is 4 times x plus 5. So let's write that. Equals, and then we have a 5 times x minus 3. So now we have cleared out the fraction. We can just solve it out. So now we're down to step 4, which is to simplify it and solve it. So I want you to distribute the 4 and distribute the 5. So what do you get when you take 4 times x plus 5? 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. And now from here, we're just going to solve it out. I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides because we have to get all our x's on the left. And then I'm going to subtract that 20 from both sides. So go ahead, pick up your calculator and add this together. See if you can figure out what you get. What's negative 15 minus 20? Negative 35, good. And then my last step is to divide both sides by negative 1. You can just put it on my desk, which is going to cancel that out. And negative 35 divided by negative 1 is positive 35. So now that we have finished it out, did I get one of the answers that I said I couldn't use? Because remember, I said I couldn't use 3 and I couldn't use negative 5. But did I get that? No. So this would be my answer. And that's it. Any questions about the first one? All right, we'll do a few more. And then you'll have time to work on your homework. So my LCD is going to be both of these together. So what I'm multiplying by is x minus 8 and x plus 8. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by x minus 8, x plus 8. And this fraction by x minus 8, x plus 8. So what do you think will cancel from the first fraction? What am I going to cross out? Yep, you cross out what you see at the bottom, so that's the x minus 8. So that leaves me with the 2 times x plus 8. So let's write that. Bring down the equal sign. On the second fraction, x plus 8 goes away. And that leaves me with 5 times x minus 8. All right, let's go ahead and simplify it. So you're going to distribute 2, and you're going to distribute 5. When you distribute 2, that gives you 2x plus 16. And when I distribute the 5, I have 5x minus 40. Anybody know what I'm going to do next? So I need to move this to the left. So how do I do that? If it's positive, I'm going to subtract it. So let's subtract 5x. So then that's going to give you negative 3x plus 16 equals negative 40. And then I'm subtracting 16 from both sides. And that's going to give you negative 3x equals negative 56. And now go ahead and divide both sides by negative 3. So you get x is 56 over 3, or if you write that as a decimal, let me see what that is. Thank you. Or you can write it as a decimal and say it's 18.6. It's like 18.6 repeat. So I would take either one of those answers. Now, let's look at what I have, though. If I put this 18 in either one of these parentheses, will it give me 0? So if I take 18 and I put it here, what's 18 minus 8? Is 18 minus 8 0? Is 18 plus 8 0? So that means that this is an actual solution that I can use. Okay. So now we have 3 fractions. We have x minus 6 and we have x minus 2. That's my LCD. So I'm going to multiply everything by x minus 6 and x minus 2. And I'm going to see what cancels out. On every fraction, at least one thing is going to cancel. Okay, so on the first fraction, only the x minus 6 goes away. So that's going to leave me with 1 times x minus 2. Bring down the addition sign. On the second fraction, the x minus 2 goes away. So that's going to leave me with 3 times x minus 6. And on the third fraction, they both go away. So we just have a 4. So I'm going to distribute the 1 and I'm going to distribute the 3. When you multiply something by 1, it doesn't change. Plus 3 times x is 3x and 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. Next, we're going to combine our like terms. So that would be these two and these two. So x plus 3x. 1 apple plus 3 apples is 4. So that would be 4x. Not 3x squared, it's just 4x. Now you can use your calculator. Go ahead and add those two numbers that you see highlighted in pink. Negative 2 plus negative 18. All right, so you should get negative 20. So that's minus 20 equals 4. Now we're going to do what? What would be my next step to solve for x? Add 20. Yep. And then my last step would be to divide by 4. So I got x equals 6. But we have a problem with that. What happens if I put the 6 right here? What's 6 minus 6? 0. Pick up your calculator and type in 1 divided by 0. And see what the calculator tells you. If you try to take 1 and divide it by 0, you should get an error message. Did you all get an error message? So what that means is that this is not going to work. So because that doesn't work, this one actually has no solution. The one answer I found doesn't work. And we're not graphing any complicated rationals, but what that would mean is that that's where the asymptote is. So that's why it doesn't work. All right, one more question and then we will end there. So notice how this one is not factored down, but x squared minus 9 actually factors down to these two. So it's going to factor down to x plus 3 and x minus 3. Gotta plug up my pen. It's about to die. Okay. So this factors down to x plus 3, x minus 3. That's what x squared minus 9 is. So that means my LCD is x plus 3 and x minus 3. So step number 1 was to factor. Step number 2, find the LCD. Now we're down to step 3. Multiply everything by the LCD. So I'm multiplying this fraction by x plus 3, x minus 3. This fraction by x plus 3, x minus 3. And my last fraction by x plus 3, x minus 3. And every single time, something is going to clear. So for the first fraction, they both clear. and all I have is 2x. Bring down the plus sign. On the second fraction, just the x plus 3 clears. So then that leaves me with 3 times x minus 3. And on the last fraction, x minus 3 clears. So that would be 1 times x plus 3. All right, go ahead and distribute and distribute. So when you multiply that first one by 3, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 3 is 9. And when you multiply by 1, you just get x plus 3. All right, so these are like terms, so we're going to go ahead and add them together. Two x plus 3x is 5x. So 5x minus 9 is x plus 3. What do you think my next step is? So now I don't have any like terms on either side, so I need to start moving stuff. I need to move this over. It's positive, so I'm going to subtract it. I'm telling you, I like this pen, but it gives me problems. Okay, so we're going to subtract the x. Two more steps and we've made it to the end. What do I do to get rid of that minus 9? Add it to the 3. And then 3 plus 9 is 12. And then your last step is to divide both sides by 4. So I get x equals 3. Can I use that? Who says yes? Who says no? Who's not sure? It's no. And the reason why it's no is because if I put the 3 here, I'm going to get 0. We cannot have a 0 in the bottom. You can have a 0 up top, but you cannot have a 0 in the bottom. That 3 will make this last fraction become 0. So this is not going to work. So the only answer I got doesn't work. So I got to cross it out. And that means I have no solution. All right. So the last homework of the year, amen, is up here. This last homework of the year, write that it is due on Wednesday. Wednesday, May 7th. And your last test is next Friday. So we're going to continue solving next week, but I want you to try to start working on the front